Hey, it's Tori, and welcome to, or welcome back to my channel. Today we welcome Maria from Future Palace to the channel. How are you doing today?
Hello, it's nice to be here. We've seen many of your reaction videos, and I'm doing good. It's very warm here today in Berlin, and yeah, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It's warm over here too, and I'm in North Carolina, and the humidity is horrendous. I would not recommend it. So, the reason you are here today is, of course, to talk about your brand new album, Distortion, which is out on the 6th of September via Arising Empire. You've already had like 4 singles out already. How have you found that response from your fan base?
Oh yeah, I mean it's hard to tell because the first single we theoretically released was Malthus, which was
Mm-hmm.
over a year ago,
Right.
and there's been so much time in between and so much happened in between. So from that first single, it was very, very good because we released that one while we were on tour with Electric Callboy, and that was the perfect timing for that. And the next one was Uncontrolled, so we've been kind of silent for almost a year and then dropped the song out of nowhere for people.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like people were just waiting for more music. Already last year, they were like, "Where's the new music?" Like, we don't want to wait that long. So I receive it pretty positive. I have to say the one song, The Echoes of Disparity, which was the third single we've released, had some criticism that we've never really received in that amount because of the topic about
Mm-hmm.
like female empowerment, and also because we had a male dancer in that video, but he was dressed like in a bra and wore makeup, and I feel like it triggered a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So that one was interesting. And then the most recent one, Dream State, had rather positive feedback, and yeah, it's looking very good so far.
Yeah, I was going to ask you a question about that. Of course, being a female and being basically the face of the band, how do you deal with that, the unfortunate misogyny and the objectification that comes with it, other than, of course, writing these badass kick-ass, songs that should be addressing this, because unfortunately it is something that we're still dealing with in today's society.
Yeah, I think we are dealing with it even more than we have been for a few years. If you look into the world, into a few countries, how many women are still suppressed and have
Mm-hmm.
almost not close as much rights as men do in their country. And even in our countries, there are people who would like to have a more conservative, old school kind of world image again, where the
Mm-hmm.
woman just sits at home and the man goes working, and that's all we do is cook and be nice and don't really speak out what we think. And I think almost no woman wants a world like that back. And I think we fought enough for our rights. And it's kind of sad to still have to do a song like this because just because you have rights doesn't mean they will stay and remain. And
Mm-hmm.
there are still issues in daily life and in relationships with domestic violence. And I've experienced that as well. And there are just so many different topics. I think we could write a book about that. That made me write the song. And it's not just being a singer. Luckily, I think in this scene, I've had mainly in these years since we've been Future Palace, I had mainly positive experiences. There have been a few shitty ones that kind of made me also write that song as well. And
Mm-hmm.
also just seeing this world of musicians, because it's, but I feel like a lot of men, as soon as they get a lot of power, and not only power, but that they are liked by a lot of women and admired, I think they abuse it a lot of times. And that's also kind of why I wrote that song, because there are artists out there that use their power wrong, I think. And yeah, I just felt like shouting out to the, making them aware of the topic again, because it can go underneath. And yeah, that's kind of the reason. And so far I've had more positive experiences, luckily. And I think it took a lot of years for me to say that right now, that I can have a more peaceful version of this career.
Yeah, no, I totally understand it. Even as a YouTuber myself, in the comments section can be, oof,
Oh, I can
harsh,
imagine.
and it because I do wear my heart on my sleeve and I am a very empathetic person. Like it's taken all, I've been doing this for like 4 years now, and it's taken all of those 4 years to really come to terms with it and to be like, well, you don't know this person, you don't know what they're going through. Just brush it
Exactly.
off, get up, and keep being you. And that's what I love about you guys. You're very genuine, and I love the message that you bring across to your fans. And of course, you invited Charlie Rolfe from As Everything Unfolds to be on this single. How did that come about?
That was pretty simple compared to what you would think of as features, because there can be a lot of complicated communication ways.
Mm-hmm.
And we never met in person, but we talked through Instagram already. She's been with Electric Callboy at the UK run right
Mm-hmm.
after us, I think. And we just knew each other already, I think, for a few years, because our bands are, I think, compared quite a lot. Also, that's like a fun fact that when you're a female singer, people will always compare you. Always compare you. I'm not sure how much that happens with like male singers, but in the beginning we had lots of issues with being compared to Paramore or
Mm-hmm.
Evanescence or Flyleaf, and I get that people want to put you in some sort of similar, I don't know, thing, so they understand
Mm-hmm.
what you are. But naturally, they would compare us quite quickly, like, oh, another band with a singer that screams. We know
Right.
that band already.
Yeah.
And yeah, but then we just talked through Instagram, and I told her about the song. And usually, I don't really go to people on Instagram and ask them to be on a song, but I felt like it was very natural with her. And yeah, she was very, very excited about it, and that made me very happy.
Yeah, your voices together are just so powerful. Like that's one thing I will try not to do in my reactions is compare anybody's voices to anybody else, because yes, you may be of the same genre, but your voice is unique to you and who you are and what how you deliver it. And I hate that myself too. Like I don't want to be compared to such and such a person who's a reactor as well. And I
Yeah.
couldn't imagine it as being a vocalist and having somebody say, "Oh, well, she's like this person or this person." And it's like, "No, I'm just me. I'm just this is my
Yeah.
band. This is what I'm doing."
Yeah,
So,
it might be that some people do have that female fronted image still on in
yeah.
their mind. I mean, that
Yeah.
term, you can use it wisely or good for
Mhm.
promotion, but also still people still label it as something like there can only be so many women at one festival or at one playlist. Like
Yeah.
we've got them covered already.
Yeah.
But
Which
yeah.
is it's a ridiculous mindset, but then again, I am a woman, and that's coming from me again getting comments from people saying that I'm not worthy enough to react to a certain band, and I'm like, what does that even mean?
What the fuck?
Yeah,
Oh God,
exactly. So
that doesn't make sense.
it doesn't. It like I read that and I was like, are you serious? I was like, what?
Mm,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
ridiculous.
It really is. It really is. So, of course, you're here to talk about the brand new album. Could you tell us in your own words what it's about and what it represents for you guys?
Yeah, I think this album is a bit more not objective, but more has more topics than the ones before. It's called Distortion, and besides having distorted guitars on it, that's not the reason why it's called like that. And it is heavier than before. But the term distortion, I got inspired by this name, cognitive distortion, from psychology. And
Hmm.
I noticed myself that since I do struggle with depression, and lots of my friends and also family, I'm always confronted with mental health issues. And that a lot of issues in life are based from a distorted view that we have in our brain caused by these illnesses.
Hmm.
And I think not only me and not only my friends, but a lot of more people in this world do have a distorted view. And if you if you're not aware that you have a mental illness, it can really manipulate your reality like a lot, because it is distorted. And as I said, this album, besides one song, The Echoes of Disparity, is not distorted. It is more, it's just embracing anger a bit.
Hmm.
But a lot of songs do have a little bit of a distorted view, like Dream State is very depressed, and others are like very anxiety focused. Others are, I have one that they take what they want, which is very a narcissism kind of perspective. And that's kind of what I try to push in the direction and get that main theme. It's not in every song probably, but yeah, that's the main theme, the main topic, mental
Yeah.
illness.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, and I do see that a lot with, because with having this series now with where I'm able to chat with musicians such as yourself, it's amazing how many are now advocating for mental health and for like not being ashamed of it, because we shouldn't be. It shouldn't be a
Yeah.
stigma anymore. It should be something that people can freely talk about and not be shunned or pushed down, and I love that. What do you hope your listeners will take away from the album?
I think if I present it that way and call it distortion, or we present it that way, I think, or I hope that some people who can relate with these lyrics will understand that this is not your reality
Hmm.
and that this comes from something that your mind makes up. Like, yeah, like Dream State is one example because it's the most recent song. It's very, very depressed. It's about not wanting to wake up, not wanting to stand
Yeah.
up, just staying in this dream world, which I think is very relatable in these times where everyone just has to deliver nonstop and function like a machine.
Yeah.
And I think it's good to sometimes lean into that feeling 100%, but still understand that this is not the reality and reality can be much brighter. And that's also why we end the album with the song called Amethyst, and it's like a crystal that
Hmm.
calms you down. And the song is about being in a really shitty world with a lot of problems, but the chorus is like very cheesy and romantic. Never done that before. It's like, can I lean on you for now? Just a little moment, some affection to go on, to increase endorphins, and just that at the end, maybe you find someone who will help you through this hard time or something. It doesn't have to
Hmm.
be someone. And yeah, to reflect all that annoying stuff and still have some trust and hope in yourself. And I think that's what we always just try to deliver with most of our songs, is that you can have these things, but try to acknowledge them, reflect them, and don't let them become you, because
Hmm.
you are more than your thoughts. Very,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I learned on therapy. Like, I had to learn and have to learn over and over again.
Yeah. I think it's a very valuable lesson that all of us could learn from, because you don't want to become stuck in this darkness, because like as you said, life is very bright, and it is what you make of it, and it is, you know, I'm an overthinker myself. I do overthink all the time. I think, well, with my reactions or with my interviews, like I'm like, is that good
Mm.
enough? Did I do well enough?
Oh
And then
yeah,
I just get in my head, and I'm sure it's the same for you. And you just have to be like, calm down. You did fine.
yeah,
You'll put it out there, and it'll be received how it's received, and that's the end of it. And
yeah.
so you also do have like super creative concepts for your music videos. How do you guys come up with
Thanks.
those?
Usually it's mainly me who comes up with that, and it's just very natural to me because I'm such a like I have so many images in my brain, and I feel like my brain had like, do you know the Powerpuff Girls intro where they
Yeah,
do like
yeah.
all these flavors and then they have this X thing, which is way too much. And for me, that's creativity. Like everything else is very
Hmm.
unbalanced, and then there's way too much creativity. Um, and yeah, I could like talk about so many pictures and ideas, and then on the other hand, I have like very big issues with focusing and mathematics and all that
Hmm.
stuff. But yeah, while I write a song or the lyrics, I oftentimes already have the picture in my mind, and I also love getting inspiration everywhere I go, and yeah, also Pinterest and YouTube and other videos, but also looking at art and all stuff. And yeah, for all these videos, it was pretty natural and easy to do. And I also like the themes that, like, once again, Dream State was a very nice theme, like dreamy, and
Hmm.
I think that was very easy to do and to visualize. For the Echoes of Disparity, I also already had like an entire video in my head. I was like inspired by one of Halsey's music videos, Nightmare, it's called. It's also more of like a feminism song.
Hmm.
And also a few German artists had a few songs about that topic. And I kind of got, or like looked through these videos and got inspired how they portray this. And yeah, I knew that we needed like a lot of women and we want to look very rough and then maybe a little 90s influence. So yeah, it's hard to explain how that very like happens in my brain, but yeah, that's what happens. Chaos.
No, you sound a lot like my sister. She's very creatively with like
Oh.
her art and images and stuff like that. Whereas I recently learned like a couple of years ago. Have you ever heard of Avantasia? It's where there's no images, there's no pictures in your mind. So I don't see, there's nothing in there. I don't see anything. And it's
Oh.
yeah, that's why music is so important to me. It like covers that void, and it's
Mm,
dark in there. So I have my,
mm.
like, some people don't have an inner monologue, but I have that inner monologue, and I guess that's why I'm so much of an overthinker, because that's all that's in
Oh, it
my
takes so
brain.
much space. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So so music for me,
Wow.
that's why I love chatting to people like yourselves, because I find it fascinating how we're such similar beings in the way that we look, but inside, in our brains, in our
Mm-hmm.
creativity, we're so different, and how we approach different things. So it's
Yeah.
really fun. Like with you say you see all these images and you get so inspired by all kinds of different things, and it really really blows my mind. And that also leads me to the next question of your creative process. What does that look like for you with writing your lyrics and then composing the songs?
Well, it's pretty similar. It's pretty chaotic to say so. It's very interesting to me. I cannot even imagine what it would be like for my mind to have no pictures. I
Yeah.
think it would change a lot of things for me. And
Hmm.
that's so interesting. Once again, it's the same with like mental illness. Someone who doesn't have
Right.
it, almost impossible to imagine.
Yeah.
And until I got like very strong depression, I didn't really believe in it, to be honest,
Hmm.
because it's so hard to believe in something when you cannot at all
Yeah.
relate to it. And then
Right.
yeah, I think that could be another huge topic, like
Absolutely.
empathy and stuff like that. But it's similar with music to me. I used to actually study music for 3 semesters or something,
Hmm.
but I found myself, I didn't hate it, but I was close to hating it. And I've never hated anything music related in my life. But I hated it because it was pure theory, a lot of
Right.
theory, and it was all logical. So
Hmm.
I could do a very logical song. I would know how to write it. I would know how to write logical lyrics. And it did help me a bit, but I felt like it did not really work with me. I just love writing music emotionally.
Hmm.
And one of the teachers in that school, in one class, it was like harmony, teaching harmonies and stuff. And he said, "How do you guys write songs?" And almost everyone said, "Well, emotionally." And he said, "You can forget that right now at the first lesson." And I was like, okay, this is killing me. Because my biggest motivation and also muse are my emotions.
Yeah.
So that's just how I do it. That we were in a lot of time pressure, or I was in a lot of time pressure, and also there's always so much stress in my life with many aspects, like career wise, private, love, friends. There's almost always drama somewhere, or in my family since I was a child. And I have so many emotions inside of me that need to go out still and over
Hmm.
again. And to me, it's just a very like yeah, therapeutic. How do you say
Yeah.
therapy?
Therapeutic.
Therapeutic, that's the word. Therapeutisch, well. Yeah, very, yeah, that thing. It's very therapy for me. And
Hmm.
I actually don't even write that much music besides album processes, because I feel like it makes it even more special. And
Yeah.
I'll have so many emotions that I can get out there. And that's why it worked very quickly. I think I wrote most of the songs in like a week, and it
Hmm.
just all came out of me because I've experienced so many things, and I had to sit down and understand how I feel. And it's just like therapy. You sit down, you write down what you feel, and you're like, oh, that's that's how I feel. Holy shit, oh god. And then the song is suddenly there. And that's just, yeah, how it went. I sat on the piano a few times, cried on my bed a few times, did most of the songs at like 3 a.m. right here, and yeah, that's what happened. That's how it
Yeah.
goes.
But
Chaos.
that that's the thing though for me. If I don't emotionally connect to a song, then I'm not going to listen to it. I have to be
Mm,
able to believe that what the band are saying or doing within their music is how they're that they've gone through that and that they've felt that. And I do feel
Mm,
that with you guys. You guys do put that emotion in, and it comes
thanks.
across. And just from like, I think we found you randomly on, we were on like my husband and I, we were we like drive to, because the nearest concert venue for us is like about an hour drive. So we were just driving somewhere, and on Spotify, just one of your songs just randomly came on, and we were like, what is this, you know? And then of course, I'd already started my channel by then, so then I followed you since then, and every time
Aw,
you release new music, I was like, yep, I gotta do it, I gotta do it, I gotta put it out there. And I just
aw.
really loved seeing your success and seeing you guys grow. And of course, with that comes touring
Thanks.
and festival season. And right now it is festival season. So how has that been treating
Mhm.
you guys?
Oh, I like festivals a lot. Thank you, first of all. That means a lot to me because, yeah, it is really 100% real. And I know that there are a lot of people where it's not real, but they can
Hmm.
make it sound real as well. But that's why every feedback means a lot to me because it's just so surreal that this even works, that you can
Yeah.
cry out on paper or digital and people like it. It's like, wow, what a great way to deal with all of that stuff. And festivals are going very well so far. We're playing insane festivals this year. It's very crazy to me that we had such a big jump from year to year. It's getting
Hmm.
like bigger and bigger every year. And it is kind of hard to process in my brain, especially when you doubt yourself and your skills so much that you kind of, yeah, I said that in almost every interview that I kind of developed some sort of imposter syndrome where I think
Yeah.
I don't deserve any of this and it's way too early, or someone else would deserve this much more than me. Or do I even want this? Is everything going right? Like, as you said, so many thoughts, and
Yeah.
lots of them just try to ruin everything and are not the reality oftentimes. So when we had our first festival, which was Greenfield, I think, or we started this year with American festivals, that was also very cool. But it was right away such a big festival with huge artists that we shared the stage with. I've seen Corey Taylor twice this year, which is
Yeah.
fucking
Like,
weird. He walked like past me. I'm like, why am I here? Like, I'm
yeah.
just me. It's because it's so fast that I'm still, or I'm not sure if that's just me, but I'm still so normal. Like, you could just put me in the crowd and I would relate with the artist, but I'm still just a normal person.
Yeah.
And it makes no sense for me to be in that backstage. I'm like, why am I here? Like, I feel like I'm invading the space. Like they misunderstood something, and somebody will find out eventually that we don't belong in this backstage with like all these huge artists. And also, I keep mentioning I saw Avril Lavigne play at Nova Rock, where we also played. Um, and just playing at the same festivals as such a childhood idol was just insane to me, but also very fulfilling and very,
Hmm.
very nice. But it's hard to accept all these nice feelings. I still try to allow them and enjoy everything even more, or just enjoy it. It's hard to enjoy things sometimes. But I enjoy the festivals because the weather's nice, the bands are crazy that play there. The traveling can be annoying, to be honest. We were done
Yeah.
Resurrection Fest in Spain, and it was such a pain in the ass to go there because we had to fly and take a bus from another country, and then the next day we had two flights. It was like, oh, but it's still so cool to see so many countries and to be able to even play festivals in more countries now, outside of Germany. And yeah, let's see what the future brings. And the next one will be in Finland, actually,
Hmm.
next week. So we fly again and then we play Wacken. So yeah, a lot of crazy stuff. It's very surreal.
Yeah. Fucking wow. That's a massive festival as well. Like, I think it's good to keep yourself somewhat grounded, because I think if you then start accept accepting it and becoming like this big ego, then I think it somewhat fails, and
Mm,
then people sort of see past that, and you always want to remain genuine and real and you,
yeah.
and like you say, you know, I so many times I've said in this interview, I am an overthinker. It sounds like you are too. And
Yeah.
it's just part of who we are. And I think that's what keeps us grounded and what keeps us real and relatable. And that helps me relate to others and relate to the music that you're putting out. And how do you take care of your mental health but also your physical health, because not only is it mentally draining, getting up on those stages and playing is also physically draining too, and traveling
Mm.
and everything that comes with that.
Yeah, I'm not a good example for physical health. I am kind of blessed with my digestion or whatever it is that
Your
I
metabolism, yeah.
yeah, that's okay because I work from home mostly where I
Hmm.
sit like on a desk. And when I'm back home, I usually just work and I barely leave my house, and usually just for a few hours. And I try to do sports. I try to go run and stuff because I noticed on stage that um, I get exhausted pretty quickly and I want to improve that. And
Yeah.
yeah, I only do yoga, to be honest. That's all I do, which is good for like stretching your neck muscles for headbanging and stuff.
Yeah.
And for sitting quite long in the bus,
Right.
on the bus. But yeah, I would have to go run because I noticed like also on headline tours and everything, it's just so much more comfortable to perform when you're fit. And really have to do some work on that. And I want to do, it's just always a question of time. And it's already so much. I am vegan and stuff, and I try to be very healthy with my diet when I
Hmm.
can. That I think helps quite a bit. That, and I don't smoke, I don't really drink alcohol, not really, yeah, not at all, to be honest. And I think that also helps. And we all don't smoke. We're like a pretty boring band, pretty not rock and roll. And mental health is just a life challenge. It's just a daily challenge. It's, I think you have to learn who you are and what your boundaries are. And
Hmm.
I had to learn also after therapy that I say more no to a few things, that I stop a few things that feel draining to me, or that I even stop contact with people that I don't even like, but I liked being liked by them. You know,
Right.
it's like
Yeah.
I used to be like kind of a people pleaser due to like trauma and all that stuff. And the past years, I cut more and more people out of my life. And yeah, there are pretty little people in my like close circle. And I feel like that's good though, because it's very
Yeah.
good relationships that I have. And they're not draining, they're actually like enriching and nice. And yeah, I do meditate a lot of times. I do read a lot of psychology books, and I feel like that helps me quite a lot. And I do have to take care of my mental health like a lot, and journal here and then. Songwriting helps me, as I said, and singing helps me getting all that stuff out. And I think for others, it might be sports instead of like music, because you need something to get all these
Hmm.
emotions out. Because we sit so much and we're so still, but this has to go out somewhere, or I think we will just get it inside and it will just stay inside of us, which is not healthy, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then on tour, it can get very challenging. I had many, many issues with depression on tour where I would isolate, I would cry, I would not talk to anyone, get grumpy. And my boys in the band would have to learn or get to know me more also and understand that it's not personal or anything. It's just very overwhelming, especially
Yeah.
because I'm mostly the only woman on tour.
Hmm.
I'm oftentimes also the youngest person on tour. And then I oftentimes feel very alone and not understood. And also, then on top of that, I would have vocal issues because I've experienced a lot of vocal issues on tour for the past years because I had to get to know myself and how to scream and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I would end up not talking at all, going to bed at the earliest, waking up the latest because I wouldn't want to start the day, and then focus on the show and work and go back to bed. And it wouldn't be very fun besides the show. And I kind of try to still learn how to have fun while being on tour because it's pretty hard being a singer on tour because you cannot really talk much.
Right.
Um, so I'll have to find ways around that to meditate on tour, maybe do yoga, have a book with you, and plan in breaks as well because we all don't live from this yet and we still work. And I usually just work until the show starts. And it's just always nonstop trouble on your head and in your brain,
Hmm.
and there's barely time to relax. And then when I'm in the bunk, what I do is reshare all the stories of the show until I fall asleep, wake up and
Yeah.
work again. So yeah, you have to really understand that you have to make boundaries and respect yourself and treat yourself with love. And yeah, it is very challenging. And I see many artists actually struggling with that as well on tour, like way more because they don't respect their own boundaries. And
Mm-hmm.
it is very, very hard to do this music life because you have to cross a lot of boundaries and a lot of safety to even do this job in the first hand. And it can get challenging, I think, when you tour nonstop. And that's what we personally don't want to do. We don't want to be 3 months on tour because I think that's not healthy for your mental well-being. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we just saw that with Bad Omens, right? And Noah having
Mhm.
to pull out of the European dates because
Yeah.
they've just been going for, it feels like 2-3 years that they've just constantly been touring, and it's like we physically can't do that. We need to come home. We
Mm.
need to rest and reset. And even if you just lay on the couch and veg out all day, you have to do that. You have to
Yeah.
refresh your mind and your body, and take these days where you just watch something that is a comfort show, or you start something new. And I'm with
Yeah.
you. But I'm also, I'm very much a people pleaser, and I'm really trying not to be, because like you say, you
Mm.
need to find your boundaries, and you need to there's absolutely nothing wrong with saying no to something.
Yeah.
And that is something I've had to learn as my channel grows as well, and as I get more interviews and more people approaching me now, I'm like, well, it's just me. I'm just one person. I can't do
Yeah.
all of this, because otherwise I'm going to
Mhm.
burn out, and I'm going to hate
Yeah.
doing it, and I'm no longer going to want to do it. And I don't want that, because music is everything for me. And
Yeah.
I can feel like that's the same for you with, as you say, your touring schedule. And you've just got to be able to set those boundaries, and I
Mhm.
completely agree with that. Talking about touring again, you'll be performing at the Metal Hammer Awards soon.
Mhm.
How did that come about, and how are you feeling about it?
That is still so random to me because I just our drummer Johannes is also our manager, and he always gives us
Right.
all these news, and he usually does all the talking and stuff. So he just came out of nowhere. He's like, "Oh my God, guys, this is a big secret. Like the Metal Hammer Awards will be happening again." And I have to be honest, I didn't know about them because
Hmm.
I was never I liked metal music, but I was not much into like this entire scene, or was like following it a lot. I was more
Right.
into like musicians and stuff. So I was like, "What? We do have that in Germany? That's sick! Like what?" And then when we heard who will play with us, we were like, "Why did they ask us? Like what?" This I feel pretty anxious because I am now. Oh, you have to learn so much, also performance wise. And now I was thrown into cold water with playing an arena tour, which
Hmm.
was challenging, but we made it in the end. And but mentally it was challenging because like, what? How do I deserve this? How will I do this? How? Like my brain was like freaking out. Then we've done all these festivals now, and now the next thing would be like playing at an award show where I don't even know how should I like perform? What will it look like? What will happen? Will there be cameras? Will there be like,
Hmm.
what's the crowd gonna be like? Who's gonna sit there? I don't know anything. And also, we are from Berlin, and it's happening in Berlin, and it's happening at a very huge venue here in Berlin. And I worked next to that venue in a mall, in a clothing store, and I was so depressed and hoping so hard to, yeah, to do all of this. And to now play there at an award show is very, very nice and very rewarding. And it's just a little bit more special and emotional when it's in your hometown as well.
Right.
And such
Right.
a big thing. So, yeah, I'm just very excited. I don't know much about what will happen. So, yeah, let's see what will happen there. And I don't even want to think too much about it because I might
No.
go like crazy. I would
No,
rather
don't.
just think about my outfit and the songs and just ignore everything else. Like, I
Yeah.
don't even want to know who's there.
Yeah, don't get in your head too much about it, because I'm the same way, like with something new, or if I'm traveling to like a new airport, let's say, and I don't know the layout of this airport, I don't know
Hmm.
where what is, I get so in my head, I'm like, no, you'll figure it out when you get there. Whatever
Yeah,
happens will happen. And I'm so happy for you guys, and I'm so
thank you.
proud of you guys for that, because that's such a huge thing. And as you say, being in your hometown, and you've been dreaming of performing in this big venue, and now's your chance to you finally get to do it in. And you know, I'm hoping it's filmed because I want to see you guys' performance at this like amazing opportunity thing. But I'm not going to put too much pressure on you. I'm also not going to keep you too much longer either. What are your rest of your plans?
Well, we have, yeah, the award show, as you mentioned. This year was also crazy because I was just in the cinema. I just remembered with the Electric Callboy tour
Yeah.
movie. That was also like a jump scare thing. We are gonna have a headline tour right after releasing our album through Europe and bigger than before, which is also very hard for me to understand. And yeah, right now we're in July, so there will also be 2 more songs to be released, 1 music video maybe. And I'm very, very looking forward to the next song we're gonna release. It's my personal favorite, I think, and I hope we don't have the video yet, but we shot it already, but I hope the video will be very, very cool. The idea was very nice, the set was very cool, so I am very excited for that. And yeah, the rest is more of a secret, but the headline tour is you can pre-order your tickets now, and we're very, very excited because it's gonna be very, very cool and the coolest thing I think we've done. So yeah, that's that.
All right. Well, as I say, I'm not going to keep you much longer. Do you have any last words for people watching this interview, just of thanks or anything like that?
Yeah, huge thanks, I would say. Thank you all for supporting us. Thank you for reacting to us so many times because that helped us out as well. Like every single support means a lot to us because we grew really fast in such a short time, but it doesn't come from nowhere. There's a lot of work, and it's very nice that people see potential in us and saw potential in us to react to us in an early state already. And it's just very, very nice to do what you love and to see that what you do matters and that you can have the power to grow something. And I hope that can maybe empower all of you that you don't need much background. You just need to want something a lot and push through, and there will be a way eventually, hopefully, but mostly it works.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Maria, for taking the time out of your busy schedule to chat with me here on the channel. It's been an absolute pleasure. I was really looking forward to this chat with you. Of course, guys, I will leave all of the links and the pre-order links so you can go ahead and pre-order Distortion. Again, it is out on the 6th of September via A Rising Empire. All those links will be down in the description, as well as the links where you can find Future Palace and Maria, so you can go ahead and follow them and support them on all of their social medias. Again, thank you, Maria. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks for having me. It was very nice.
Bye, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe to become a Taurian. Speaking of becoming a Taurian, all of my social media links and my Discord link are down below in the description. We'd absolutely love to have you come hang out in the Discord community, and I will see you guys in the next video. Rock on.